Welcome to Data Project Hub. In this video, we will see why is it important to use appropriate data type in SQL and how to change the data type of a column using SQL. First of all, why is it important to use appropriate data type in SQL? There are multiple reasons why we have to use appropriate data type when writing table schema. The first point is data integrity. By using appropriate data type, we can ensure that the data stored in the database accurately reflect the intended meaning. For example, storing a date as date type, for instance, will prevent accidental insertion of invalid values like timestamp with hours, minute, seconds, etc. The second point is storage efficiency. That is, choosing the most appropriate data type can optimize the storage space because optimizing storage space is very important when writing queries, writing table schemas, and when storing data into the database. Storing a date type typically requires less storage space compared to date time, for example, which includes additional information because when we are using date time instead of date, there are time component which is simply appended to the date part, which is not required in the actual table or column. In that case, we have to declare the initial column itself as date so that we won't be having any time component in that particular column. And the third point is query performance. Using the correct data type can improve the query performance. For example, when querying for dates using date data type allows the database engine to perform optimization specific to date operation without considering the time part. Then the fourth point is consistency and standardization. Consistently using appropriate data type promotes standardization across the entire database schema, and it makes it easier for the analyst or developers to understand and maintain the database structure very efficiently. And finally, we have the fifth point, that is compatibility and interoperability. Different database systems may handle data types differently. So, in different databases, the name in which we declare the data type can be different. Using standard data types like date ensures better compatibility and interoperability if the database need to be migrated or integrated with other systems. So these are the main 5 points why we have to use the appropriate data type in SQL. So the points were data integrity, storage efficiency, query performance, consistency and standardization, and compatibility and interoperability. Now let us see how to change the data type of a column using SQL. For that, I'm going to create a table called as data type, into which I'm going to add two columns which are of date time data type and variable character data type. First of all, let us create the table. Create table. This is the table name. First column is order underscore date. Second column is order underscore ID, which is of variable character. Execute this and command completed successfully. So the table is created. Now we are going to insert data into that particular table. Also, note that here the order date column is declared as date time, but when we are inserting data into the table, the data is actually a symbol date. It is not date time since the time part is not appended with the data. Now execute this and insert data into the particular data types table. Execute. Three rows are affected, so the data is inserted into the table. Now let us query the table, that is select star from data types. Execute this. And now we can see that we have two columns, which is order date and order ID. But when we go through this order date column, we can see that the time part which we haven't actually inserted is appended into our input table or the data types table simply. Actually, it does not serve any purpose here because the time part, which is hour, month, seconds, nanoseconds, etc., the entire part is zero and is not providing us any information. It is simply appended into the date part. So what we can do here is we can actually go ahead and change the data type of the order date column from the data types table so that the data or the column order date will be showing only the date part. For that, what we can do is we can use the alter table statement and then we can alter the column data type. Let us see how we can do that. First of all, we will start with an alter table statement, alter table. Now we have to provide the table name from which we are going to alter the particular column or whatever change we are going to make. Now we will use the second alter statement which is based on the column name, that is alter column, and the column name here is order underscore date, and then the new data type that we are going to assign to the particular column. Here it is date. Now close it with a semicolon. Now execute this and see what is happening. Now command completed successfully and we have successfully altered the data type of particular column which is the order date column. Now let us once again execute this, select star from data types and see what is the result we are getting. Execute this. Now we can see that the order date column is only having the date part. The time part is no more available in the particular column because we have altered the column data type from date time to date, so that we only have the date part in the particular order date column. Similarly, we can go ahead and change the data type of the order ID column as well, because here the order ID column initially is declared as a variable character column, but actually the column contains only integers. So we can do that as well here. Copy the same query, paste it here, then order date change to order underscore ID. Then instead of date, we will make it integer. So the order date from variable character of size 20 is going to get converted to integer data type. Execute this and the column will be an integer. Now we have successfully converted the data type from date time to date and variable character to integer. It is actually important to understand why we have to use the appropriate data type and what is the appropriate data type to use for a particular column, for a particular table. And converting a data type from one data type to another is not very complex, but the important part is understanding why we have to convert the data type to appropriate data type, and also what is the appropriate data type that we have to use for a particular column in the schema. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, subscribe for more. Thank you.